Hello and welcome to Devil Ray Pen Testing. My name is Devil Ray, and we are going to be going through a quick walkthrough of the Box Previse here on Hack the Box. This is a Linux box and it is classified as easy. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Obviously start out with internet commands. Just to get going on the box. I've already ran it, so this is what it came up to. I ran just the standard SC SV at T4, see what was going on. And it came up to I got port 80 and port 22 for SSH, and it looks like battery server. So first thing I did was I went straight to the port 80 because ActiveBox tends to not have anything directly or initially on SSH server. So here, I came here. I really didn't have anything to go off of except for created by malware down here. So I did try a couple of basic passwords just to see if that would get me in, work out. But I did see that it was in B as URL says right here. So with that, I went over to my terminal and created a buff instance to where I use the directory list 2.3 medium, and I made sure to have it checked for .php files. So with that, I ran that, and as you can see here, login, files, header, nav, stuff like that starts showing up. I'm going to kill it now, but things like account, PHP, config, PHP, logs, PHP, all that kind of popped up, and the one that piqued my interest was the accounts PHP. So what I did was went over here, see, and attempted to access it, and it looked like it automatically redirected me. At this point, I didn't know why it was redirecting me password, but kind of got stuck here at this. I went over to forums and read that a lot of hints saying that your browser is lying to you. Best way to see what your browser is doing is through burp. So at this point, fired up burp. Not what I wanted. Burp. There we go. Start. Set our scope. Biggest thing that you want to make sure you have here, you want to make sure intercept request, and you also want to intercept one. Don't intercept the responses, then you're not going to see what you need when it comes to finding this box or access to this box. So we got burp running, interceptor on. Let's go ahead and try that accounts page again. Get accounts. There's our get request, and this is the one that kind of threw me for a loop. And why is it redirecting? And it clearly says here Previse account or Previse create account, and it looks like an actual web page, but it's still redirected me even if I found it. If we go ahead and hit forward, it says, and it automatically goes back to the login page, which is okay because that's the one page that decides to work, right? So what I ended up doing is on intercept again on this response from the web server, I ended up changing this code to 200, sent it through, and it landed me here on this new account or add new account page. As you can see here, only admin should be able to access this page. So there was some authentication bypass, I guess, that happened there. Not sure why, but it happened. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and create myself an account. So there's our post request, and again here, I want to make sure that works and a success user was added. Fantastic. So now I should theoretically be able to off password, and it lets me log in immediately. Indicated right here. Previously we didn't have our user. So here is what I assume is the actual homepage that we're supposed to see. This was the create account that we were previously on. We also have the file page, which like right here we have a site backup, and then we have website status. Like there's a SQL server running, and then there's log data here. All right, so the first thing I did was go to download the site backup, which I already have downloaded, decompressed. Here, open that folder. There we go. All right, cool. So this is what's in that site backup.zip. You got the accounts page, which we were just on, the file logs, the index, log out logs, all of this stuff came from there. Two files that are huge importance in this file that we downloaded. First one is config. If you go over here, open up the config.php, you can see function, connect database, localhost, root. We have a username and password for a database. We already knew there was a SQL server, we just had credentials. So we're gonna go ahead and set this aside, and we're probably gonna end up using that. Next one that we ended up, or that I ended up finding, I believe it was the logs.php. This was the other big find. You see here there's a comment saying I tried really hard to parse the logs or the log dlims PHP, but Python was so much easier. And if you look right down below, it's executing a Python script called log process.py for the dlim feature, which theoretically this right here we should be able to escape out of this, execute our own Python, and should be able to get it something going. And that's exactly what the path is. Again, I'm not 100% sure on what all is going on. I'm still the way it is. But right now that's where our foothold is going. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and find that log file. Where you can find it at is go to log data. Here you can see where it says we take security very seriously. Keep logs of file access actions. We can set delimiters for your needs. Over here we want to make sure that Recept is on. Go ahead and submit a request for logs. And if you look right here, this dlim equals comma. That tells us, or that right there is the feature or the function that we are looking for. This is running Python. What we can do is go in and drop in a reverse shell payload, a Python one. Shout out and test monkey for these. These are without his website, I would not remember a lot of these off the top of my. I still don't. But again, shout out to him. All right, so I got my IP address for Hack the Box network. I got the port that I want to send it to. At this point, I want to set up a listener. All right, I got my listener set up here. Just in case it work first time. Copy that. All right, we're gonna forward that off. Yep, okay. It looks like it hung up, which means we now have a shell. So, or at least a dumb shell. So now we need to go ahead and upgrade our dumb shell to proper one, which I use one from Nullbyte. You can pull from anywhere. Nullbyte is a good source of information. Here, here's the one-liner for shell upgrade. Go ahead and paste that in, and as you can see now, we are www-data on Previse. So now we have our initial foothold. Alrighty, so what we need to do now at this point is we need to get an actual user instead of just a server. One way we can do that is we have SQL Server credentials, right? So we can go in and see if we can't pull anything off of there. Root database is Previse. Oh, I need a password. I that's root Previse. Go here and get it all. Password, enter password, Control Shift V. All right, cool. So we're in the SQL server. So what we need to do is we need to figure out what tables we have. It looks like we have accounts and files. So at this point, you need to run a select all query. So you can do that by going select asterisk all, or sorry, select all asterisk means all from accounts. Get your in one, and right there we have our malware user, and you can see the one that we created. So at that point, we now have a password hash to crack. So what you do is you can go ahead and save it. I've already done that here, and there it is there. Alrighty, so from here, what we need to do is, or what the obvious path is, hashcat it, which it came out to MD5 crypt being the identifier. So if you're on hashcat mode 500, obviously the password, and the coveted rocku.txt, I'm gonna throw a show at the end of it just because I've already cracked it. As we can see here, it says I love Cody 112235. All right, so typically in situations like this, credentials get reused. So we are going to SSH into it. And look at that. We are now malware. With that being said, we're gonna go ahead and ls, and there is our user flag at user.txt, and there it is. So now we have captured the user flag. Now we need to escalate our privileges and go for root. The next step on, or the path to do that, is by doing sudo -l to see what we can do. Again, drop the password, It looks like we could run that, or we could run a script called access backup.shell out of the OPT scripts. So if you cat that just to see what it does, this, ironically, there's notes where it says we always make sure to store our logs. We take security very seriously, as they are running a shell in root. So this is a huge flag to say, hey, this is bad. As you can see, we are running gzip as a command as root. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to cd over into temp. If anyone else has done it, nope, not yet. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to touch gzip, get our gzip file in there, and what we need to do is we drop our bash one-liner for reverse shell. That by gzip. And again, we need to do our IP address and port number. So our IP address is 10.10 14.7, and for the port again, we'll just do 4444. And then we'll save that, out of that, and we're going to ch. Oh, first we're going to export path mp path, and that'll allow us to run commands out of here. And then we chmod the gzip file, which now allows us to run it as code. Go here, exit this, exit, hit clear, rerun that. Alright, and then now what we're going to do is we're going to go sudo opt scripts access, and if you look up here, we have root at Previse to show that who am I, root ID root, and host is, anyways, we're going to cat root.c, and there it is. There's the root flag. Thank you guys so much for watching this walkthrough for Previse here on Hack the Box. If you want to see a future box here on the channel that is active or that will soon retire, please drop a comment down below. If you liked the video, please like it, and don't forget to subscribe if you like my content. Thank you guys, and everyone have a wonderful day, evening.